happy to be here with everybody. Oh, I have some herbs burning to cleanse things before I get started, and they're really, they're wild. Today's intense, huh? For those of you who have never seen me live before, my name is Andrea Donnelly, and I am a sound and energy healer. I'm based in New England. I have 20 plus years of experience. I do all kinds of stuff. I channel Archangel Sandalphon, who is the angel of music. I also channel Pleiadian, Arcturian, Andromedan, and a bunch of other different starseed energy. I work very closely with Archangel Michael, and I just got chills. I am here, as corny as it sounds, to help us move through what we are going through as a planet, in terms of moving into a time of incredible light. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard this before, but calling this time period that we're in, which has been prophesized by every single indigenous tens and tens of thousands of years, this window of time that we're in, and it's in all kinds of, it's the Bible talks about it. I really believe that when the Bible talks about that concept of the camel moving through the eye of the needle as it relates to the complexity of, the more that you have in this world, making sure that you still stay grounded and kind and in your heart, and really community-based as well, right? I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard the, like service to self versus service to others. Because the thing is, when you're doing the service to self, which is where we are now, all of our systems are service to self, and the self that they're serving are not all of us. They are serving a very small number of people, and we really need to go through some extreme radical changes, and we're going through them now. I have to say I'm really excited about it. I know this year has been super crazy, super fucking crazy, right? For all of us. Time is moving so fast, it's just, I don't know, it's wild. Anyway, but I think I've stayed pretty calm this year, and a big part of the reason that I have stayed calm is that I grew up in a hot mess. And for most of my life, I've just lived through wild trauma and just poverty and neglect and like weird, really deep, crazy family stuff. And I managed to stay in joy throughout all of it. So I know that we can do this. I know that as shitty as this year has been, I know that, so many people have lost their jobs and are having to like really deeply regroup, but we can do this. And I know because I did it. And in 2 car accidents in 2016. And since the beginning of this year, my chronic pain, which was very severe, has really changed a lot. I've lost 30 pounds. I don't know, a lot of the things that I had after I was in those, it was in a 5-week window of time, 2 different people hit me. And so I ended up having a back surgery a couple of years ago, and the recovery had been just super intense. And I don't know, something happened to me this year. I just feel like everything connected. I knew that I had come here to work as a healer, and it ended up being that I woke up literally on, I think it was like March 13th of this year, and I was like, all right, it's on. Like, I have to change everything about how I've been living, and like, the time is now, the time I always knew I was going to become a healer. So, do a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to do a reading for everybody today, for the collective group, on how to most gracefully move through this year, the rest of this year and into the transition into 2021. Last week on my live, if you look it up, I did a reading for all the collective, women helping women, for the whole year of 2021. And holy moly, you all, this is a really brilliant community because the reading was really, really cool. Ooh, I just got chills again. So yeah, look it up. I don't know, this is a really amazing community. I feel really lucky to have found it. So, and I feel really blessed and lucky that you all are here with me on your Saturday night or Sunday morning or like whatever time zone you are, right? Time is irrelevant. So it doesn't matter. But, yeah, so I have my Laughing Buddha singing bowl, which you will hear played in the background, and I am still getting used to the new space that I'm in, and but for now, this is This is as good as it is. So you can hear my beautiful Laughing Buddha crystal bowl in the background, and that will help to clear any of your stress away. You know, if you have stuff. Before I start the reading, let's ground quickly. So if you were here with me, if you want to just close your eyes for a second, put your hand on your heart, send a deep anchor into the heart of Mother Earth. Thank you, Mother Earth. You are a true mother. Wait for her to respond. You'll feel it in your body. It might take a minute, but it could feel like just a shimmer or a softness, a breeze. Your heart might beat a little faster, but you'll feel it. And then now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go up to the solar sun, to the sky, to Father Sky. Thank you, Father Sky, so much. We love you. I pray to my guides, my entire team, the team of everyone here, everyone watching now, everyone who will watch in the future. I love you. Thank you for being here. May this help us all just relax on this Saturday night and stay in joy. And may all of you, my entire team, angels, guides, may you help to give us the best advice and heads up and things to focus on as we move through the rest of this year. Right? We've had, this was a know about just the energetics of what we've been through, but as I shuffle, I'll talk a little bit. So we have been, also, my brain goes a mile a minute. This is one of my favorite decks. It's called the Slow Holler deck. It's actually, sadly, been sold out for a little a little while, but it's really beautiful. And it is made by a collective, a queer collective in Tennessee, I want to say, somewhere in the South. Anyway, it's really beautiful, and I think sometimes they pop up on eBay, but they're just like, everything about them is gorgeous. The work is incredible. So it's one of my favorite decks. I also have another old favorite of mine, which is the Doreen Virtue Flower Therapy deck, which is also super beautiful. So let's do this. So my prayer for this reading is that we have as it you please, angels, guides, elements, light and love from all direction, here for my and our highest good. Help us as a collective understand what we should focus on for the next 2 months. So thank you so much. We love you. November 11th and December 21st, if you are into, what's it called? If you are into following astrology and energetics and stuff, both of these days are super important, both like days themselves and also windows of time where portals are going to open up. And so that was part of why the energetics of this past week felt so intense, because the 11th was such a big day. We are getting so much support. Our guides, like our angels, are working overtime. So the other thing to remember, a big thing that I'm getting right now that they're telling me for all of you, is just remember to ask for help. Even the people like me who grew up not ever being able to ask for a single thing that you needed, right? You know, one of my biggest journeys in this lifetime is that I have had to really deeply heal from codependence. So just pray for help. Simple, so simple. Just pray for help. Just pray for help, say thank you. Those are some of my shortest, best prayers and best advice that I can give you, because the angels, what's happening on the planet Earth is not just happening here. It is going to affect everything and the entire rest of like all life everywhere. Universes, galaxies, everywhere. This is a fight for freedom and autonomy, and we're gonna win. We already won. I see the future. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but I've seen a lot of what could potentially happen, and the light wins. So this is hard. is really like crazy and scary and bizarre, and you'd have to be it'd have to be totally ridiculous to pretend that like I haven't had, you know, times this year that have been really stressful, but try to just breathe through it. So, okay, all right, I only have 15 minutes. I'm a talker. For all of you who come from Irish backgrounds, my mom's entire family, all Irish, and they all kiss the Blarney Stone, which is supposed to give you the gift of gab, as if you, like Irish people, already didn't have the gift of gab. Anyway, I could go on. So anyway, all right, so slow holler deck. What should our collective community from Women Helping Women, what should we focus on as we move through November? My internet is cutting out a little bit, but this was for all of us. So I'm doing a collective reading. Next week I will do individual readings. I think I have it scheduled already, but I'll leave a comment here to verify the time that I'm going, and I will do individual readings next week. So people who want me to pull a card for them, I will do that next Saturday. All right, so for everybody though, Seven of Stones, really important for November. All right, so man, so to me, one of the things that I do is I work with Sandalphon. I mentioned that. Sandalphon is Metatron's twin, and earlier I was actually drawing Metatron's cube. So beautiful. If you've never seen Metatron's cube, looks a lot like this. Look it up. Pop it into our beautiful Google or whatever, is it called DuckDuckGo? Whatever search engine you use, plug it in, look at Metatron's cube. Ooh, this is really fortuitous for all of us. So Seven of Stones. So to me, what this means is both finding our deep inner sovereignty, right? That's the thing that we have been shown this year, is that we really need to go inward. It doesn't matter what kind of practice you have. You don't have to be a person who sits and does like serious meditation. I'm not mocking that at all. I do serious meditation. But all that we have to do is just try to find the thing that helps bring us back when we are stressed out, when things are starting to feel too chaotic, too painful, when you feel like you're at your end, or even if you're not at your end. Just if you just need a little bit of support. God, I ask for help all the time. Like, that's my number one jam, is to ask for help. And I'll tell you what, I get a lot of help in really beautiful ways. I never had the traditional family. That's like saying, like, that's the most like gracious way that I could put that. The spirit world has always been how I survived. So, all right, this is gorgeous. What does our book, I didn't plant this, you guys. Practice patience, meditation. Let patterns reveal themselves. Find your center as a feeling of physical certainty. That is so beautiful. You guys just find your way. I did a live a couple of weeks back about 5 tips and tricks to bring you back to joy, because I've had a lot of practice, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, on having to work my way through an epic fucking shit show from like literally, it was really before when I was still in the womb. Gorgeous, so beautiful. Let's see, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but take a moment to pause and appreciate the harmony and balance of the Seven of Stones. Start on a small scale and slowly build, and you will begin to see the first rewards of your efforts. And if you want to read more about this, the Slow Holler Seven of Stones, or you can look in your own deck and just look at Seven of Stones. They renamed, the collective that did this they're called Slow Holler, that's what they're called. They renamed some of the suits, and I can't, let's see, what did they... Okay, so the stones in this one, I always forget like what is what, because I'm so used to using this deck at this point. My brain has just translated everything. But 7 of Pentacles or coins, depending on what deck you have. So look that up, do a little more reading. You can plug it into the beautiful internet and get more info. So that is our collective card for the month of November. All right, so for all of the women helping women, let's see. For the month of December. Oh, this is very beautiful. I got the 6 of Branches. And this is so interesting, right? Because that other card that we got, the 7 of Stones, meditation, going inward, like even if you have to start small, it doesn't matter what you do. Maybe it's going for walks. Maybe it's painting. I love to paint. Like maybe it's dancing, maybe it's plants, maybe it's listening to music, maybe it's smoking a cigarette. Oh, I know nobody wants to talk about like vices, but with this, being alive is not that, it's not that easy. So like we gotta take our small and big pleasures where we can. And obviously also treat ourselves right. But you know, tobacco is a really beautiful, super sacred plant. It is, I think, one of the most sacred plants of this country. Obviously this is, you know, I'm not going to get into the complexities of like corporations and like cigarettes and all that stuff, but just be gentle on yourself, you know, and I think that ties into not judging. So I feel like there's something about this that to me has to do with just being really gentle and easy on yourself, and also extending that same kindness to other people. Because the thing that we have to remember right now, right, especially if you live in the United States, but like honestly, it's everywhere, because whether I, as a U.S. citizen, or anyone likes it, you know, what is happening here affects everything on this planet. So there could be a lot more confusion, and so just try to stay in flow. Like I said, try to find whatever the thing is that can bring you back. Prayer, meditation, dancing, kickboxing, playing golf, reading, knitting, you know, lighting a fire and sitting by it in your living room if you have one. If you don't, like, just finding that way to just like be at peace with yourself. So Six of Branches, really beautiful. And it has a person and a dog on it. And I think that in a lot of ways, it's also really powerful as we head into like these darker months, right? We have to, like, part of staying happy and grounded is that we make sure to get outside into nature. So even if it's just for like 2 or 3 minutes a day, try to get outside. If you can, be an ultra big hippie, and, you know, even if it's cold, like, try to put your hands right on the earth, or put your feet on the earth, and I swear to God, it'll help. And ask Mama Earth for help too, because she has been treated really poorly. To say that we have not been stewards of the earth is like the understatement of the motherfucking millennium. We have forgotten so much, and she has been so patient with us. She is unbelievable, and we're gonna see more and more. We're seeing it now, but this is her time to rise up again. We have been under patriarchal bullshit and control for tens of thousands of years, and it's time. It's not time for that anymore. It's time for something really brand new. And light workers can feel it. We felt it. I felt it since I was a little kid, that everything was ultimately going to be okay. And it made no sense. Like, nobody around me was telling me this. It was just stuff that was coming from inside. I started praying as a very small kid, and I always disliked church. Church is not my thing. Some people really benefit from it and think it's beautiful, but my focus, even from the time I was a little kid, was always very much on like my own personal connection to God. And that's part of finding self-sovereignty, right? And I'm not trying to disrespect teachers or parents or priests or family members, or, you know, people who we look up to and value their opinion, but we need to really get in touch with us, and we have to figure out what it is that we are like. What do we want? What do we think? It's not that other people don't matter. It's that when we do what is the highest good for us, that is the same thing as doing the highest good for the collective. So, yeah. All right, six of Six of Branches. Settle into your rising sense of confidence. Trust yourself. Celebrate yourself with your community. Dance and spin and spin and spin around without fear of falling. That's really beautiful. And it ties into another thing that I was going to say, is that for a lot of us here, women especially, it was not safe for us for tens of thousands of years. Women's knowledge, earth knowledge, healing, plant medicine, taking care, stewarding the earth, it was really, really disrespected. And it's part of how we ended up in the situation that we are, that violence. And it was really scary. and we've lived lots of lives. And if you are a person who's really sensitive and carries that light in your heart, there have been times when it wasn't safe for me and you and any of us. I mean, that's a real thing. But the world is different now, and the earth is here for us, and she's here for herself. So that's really beautiful. That's so beautiful. After you have prevailed through the conflicts of the 5 of branches and the obstacles set against you, the 6 of branches offers you a sense of triumph. You've made it to the peak of the mountain. You can see all the fireflies twinkling like stars above you. Feel your blood humming in your veins, the sweet satisfaction of overcoming a challenge spreading through your muscles. Ooh! That feels really good. I'm going to stretch a little for all of us. Oh my God. I mentioned this at the beginning of the podcast, the beginning of my TED Talk that I'm doing here. I mentioned at the beginning of my TED Talk that I have had a really intense physical transformation. I had severe chronic pain for a number of years. I was in 2 car accidents in 2016 in a 5-week window. I ended up having back surgery a couple of years ago. It was really intense, and I do not want to, minimize the fact that I have figured out a really good way to manage it, and I have gotten a lot stronger, and I've lost 30 pounds over the course of this year, and I had stopped doing healings on myself a lot because I just got really fucking depressed. Having chronic pain is really hard, and it's really depressing. So those are my specialties. I can work with anybody. I do private sessions. When I do private sessions, it's a really big mix of different things. I have studied Reiki for 20 years. I do sound healing. I channel angels. I channel light language. I do a lot of different things. I have always really believed in trying to get to whatever the core root of a thing is, and streamlining it and making it as efficient as possible. So I have worked a lot, especially with light language, which is not something I talk about a lot, but I have channeled it for my entire life. And I started to understand more about what it was maybe 15 years ago when I heard Tom Kenyon, who's a sound healer. He channels the Hathors. That's one of the first times that I started to understand. And oh my gosh, that was so goofy. I don't know what just happened. Anyway, my phone totally freaked out and opened my email non-consensually. So sorry about the weird gap in time. Anyway, I love you all so much. So I do all kinds of different things in sessions. I'm offering a special for everyone here from Women Helping Women. I can help you with anything. I can help you in finding your life purpose, your joy. I specialize in helping people move through chronic pain, PTSD, anxiety, childhood trauma. We all are really called right now to try to move through as much of our generational and historical trauma as possible. A lot of you have probably heard this before, but we inherit memories from our families. And no matter where you are from, whether you understand it consciously or not, we have all had really intense things happen to us, and it affects the way that we live, because the stuff that happened to our grandparents and our great-grandparents and our moms and our dads, and the stuff that happened to us in the womb, whether we know it or not, science is studying in this. There was a study done recently with mice, and they found that memories go back, I think, 13 generations. And, technically it hasn't. I don't think they've studied it on humans yet, but we're almost genetically identical to all other life here on this planet and in other places. So if it's true about mice, it's true about us. The amount of stuff that I know I got from my family, which I have moved, was part of my healing journey, right? That's part of how I moved into a place where I have become so much stronger and lighter this year, is that I've learned a lot about recovering from codependency, both, with friends and family and loved ones, and, really trying to learn my own boundaries. And it's corny, but, I saw a meme a couple of years ago, and it said, make sure that when you are saying yes to someone else, you're not saying no to you. And that's fucking huge. So say yes to yourself. And yeah, if you want to do a private session with me, I have a holiday special for everybody in Women Helping Women. Private session with me is normally $222, and it is $111 now. So I will post the link to book in the notes here. And if you have questions or comments, let me know. If you want to ask me anything about like more about what a session looks like, since I do work with so many modalities, and a lot of it depends on you, the things that you need and want, and also the way that both my guides and your guides guide me, right? So there's a lot of different stuff that I can do, but at the end of the day, whatever I do with you is going to be the thing that I am called to give you. And, you know, so yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me a message. I also sort of periodically write a blog, which I really enjoy. I don't do it all the time. I'll post the link to that as well. And like I said, I'm going to do live readings next week. And I will pull cards for the group. So next week I will verify, like I said at the beginning, what time I'm going live next Saturday. I love you all so much. I know that this has been, so in the last like 2 minutes, just take a minute, take a deep breath, put your hands back on your heart, and thank you to all of my guides, and thank you to everyone present here, everyone who will be with us in the future, and for holding space for every single one of our highest, brightest good. So I love you so much. I hope whatever you're doing on this Saturday is super beautiful. I think I'm gonna watch a movie after this. Like, hang out with my cats, whatever it is that people do on a Saturday night during this crazy year of 2020. But I love you all. Thank you so much. Join me next week. Get in touch with me if you have any questions. And I also have a Facebook group, which I will also, it's in the very tiny, it's a seed stage. But I will post that as well here. And so yeah, have an incredibly good week. Remember, my favorite prayers: ask for help and thank you. And I have an angel healer whose name is Shelly Marie, who is a fucking miracle genius, and she taught me a prayer at the beginning of this year, which is to just ask for there to be an angel in every window and an angel in every door of your house. And I add in, you know, angels around the property I live on, which I rent, but you know, obviously this is my house, this is where I live. So yeah, I add that in, but I love it. I say it every morning and I say it every night. And the other tip that I will give everyone in my remaining like 30 seconds is to make sure at the end of every night that you disconnect. I know a lot of people keep connections to their families and their pets and things like that, and that is amazing and totally great, but you want to just make sure that you're connecting from. So just say a prayer every night and ask for, you know, help just disconnecting from anything that's not yours, and anything outside your highest, brightest good. So I love you so much. I will see you next week.